What if the most profound truth about your existence is something you have never been told? Imagine for a moment that your identity extends far beyond your name, your body, and your personal history. Consider the possibility that you are not merely a separate individual navigating a vast and indifferent universe, but something infinitely more significant. What if you, in your very essence, are a direct expression of the divine? This is not a metaphor, nor is it a poetic fancy. It is a serious question, prompted by emerging insights from diverse fields of human inquiry. This essay dares to explore this monumental concept, inviting you to contemplate a truly radical perspective on who you truly are. The central idea we will investigate is both startling and deeply transformative. It proposes that you are, quite literally, a fragment of God, a piece of universal consciousness experiencing life through a human lens. Think of an infinite ocean of awareness and imagine that you are a single, unique wave, still intrinsically part of that ocean yet possessing your own distinct form and experience for a time. This notion challenges the conventional understanding of a creator separate from creation. Instead, it suggests an intimate unity, where the divine is not an external entity observing us, but is in fact experiencing reality through us in all our varied human lives. This perspective invites a profound shift in how we view ourselves and each other. This concept might initially seem overwhelming, perhaps even unbelievable. Our entire lives we are conditioned to see ourselves as limited, finite beings, defined by our physical form and our individual experiences. The idea that we could be, in any literal sense, divine, can feel like a cognitive leap too vast to make. It may challenge deeply ingrained beliefs about religion, science, and the nature of reality itself. However, this essay encourages you to suspend disbelief, to open your mind to possibilities that stretch the boundaries of ordinary perception. We will approach this topic not with blind faith but with an explorer's curiosity, examining the evidence that points towards this astonishing conclusion. The question, "Are you God experiencing life as a human?" is not intended to be answered with a simple yes or no. Instead, it serves as a gateway, a starting point for a profound journey of self-discovery and understanding. Throughout this exploration, we will delve into fascinating scientific theories and ancient spiritual teachings that converge on this very idea. We will examine how this perspective can illuminate the purpose of our lives, the nature of suffering, and our interconnectedness with all of existence. Prepare to question your assumptions, expand your horizons, and perhaps to recognize a truth about yourself that is more empowering and awe-inspiring than you ever thought possible. You might wonder if such a bold claim, that you are a fragment of divine consciousness, has any basis beyond wishful thinking or mystical speculation. This essay will demonstrate that this idea is increasingly supported by compelling lines of evidence, drawing from both the frontiers of modern science and the depths of ancient spiritual wisdom. It is a concept that is beginning to bridge the long-standing chasm between the empirical world of scientific investigation and the experiential world of spiritual insight. We are living in a remarkable era where these two powerful streams of human understanding are starting to flow together, creating a more holistic and complete picture of reality and our place within it. The journey we are about to embark upon will explore how cutting-edge theories in quantum physics, for example, are revealing a universe that is far stranger and more interconnected than classical science ever imagined. We will look at how concepts like non-locality and the observer effect hint at a fundamental role for consciousness in the very fabric of reality. Furthermore, we will consider research into consciousness itself, including studies of near-death experiences, past life memories in children, and the profound states of awareness achieved through deep meditation. These investigations are providing intriguing clues that suggest consciousness may not be merely a byproduct of the brain but something far more fundamental, perhaps even eternal. This convergence of science and spirituality offers a new lens through which to view ourselves and our world. It suggests that the ancient mystics and sages who spoke of a universal spirit or a singular divine source from which all things emanate may have been describing a reality that modern science is only now beginning to grasp. The implications of this unified understanding are immense. If we are indeed fragments of a greater divine consciousness, then our individual lives take on a new and profound meaning. Our experiences, our struggles, and our triumphs are not isolated events but part of a larger cosmic tapestry, a grand experiment in divine self-discovery and evolution. Therefore, the question, "Are you God experiencing life as a human?" becomes a central theme, guiding our exploration into these fascinating realms. This essay aims to provide you with the information and perspectives needed to contemplate this question for yourself, not as an abstract philosophical puzzle, but as a deeply personal inquiry that could reshape your understanding of who you are and why you are here. We invite you to join us on this intellectual and spiritual adventure, to examine the evidence, consider the possibilities, and ultimately, to arrive at your own insights about the divine spark that may reside within you, waiting to be fully recognized and embraced. Our journey into the heart of your divine nature begins with a truly astonishing principle, one that forms the bedrock of quantum physics. It is a concept so profound that it reshapes our understanding of existence itself. This principle states that information, in its most fundamental quantum form, cannot be destroyed, ever. It can be transformed, it can be scattered across the vastness of the cosmos, or it can even become hidden from our immediate perception. However, the universe, according to the laws of quantum mechanics, meticulously preserves every single bit of information. It is a cosmic library where no book is ever truly burned, no story ever completely erased from existence. Now, let us extend this revolutionary idea to the most intimate and personal aspect of your being, your consciousness. What if your thoughts, your memories, your unique personality, and the very essence of who you are, what many cultures and traditions have called the soul, are fundamentally forms of information? If the universe safeguards all information with such unwavering tenacity, then it stands to reason that the information constituting your conscious self might also be subject to this law of conservation. This opens a breathtaking possibility that the core of your being, the informational pattern that is uniquely you, is not extinguished with the demise of your physical body. It suggests a continuity that transcends biological limitations. This perspective begins to shift the idea of a soul from the realm of pure faith or abstract philosophy into an arena that can be explored through the lens of scientific inquiry. If the soul is indeed quantum information, then it is not an ethereal, non-physical entity entirely separate from the universe's workings. Instead, it becomes an integral part of the quantum fabric of reality itself, governed by the same fundamental principles that shape stars and subatomic particles. This understanding doesn't diminish the mystery or sanctity of the soul, rather it grounds it in the very laws that orchestrate the cosmos, suggesting a profound interconnectedness between our innermost selves and the universe at large. The implications of information's immortality are truly staggering when we consider the transition we call death. If your physical form ceases to function, what becomes of the intricate quantum information pattern that represents your consciousness? According to this quantum principle, it doesn't simply vanish into oblivion. Instead, it must persist, perhaps transforming or entering a different state of being within the vast quantum field that underpins all reality. This is not mere speculation, it is a logical extension of a scientifically proven concept, urging us to reconsider what happens when our human experience in one particular form concludes, and what new possibilities might await. Let us delve deeper into this extraordinary concept. Your soul, comprising your consciousness, your accumulated memories, your unique personality traits, and the very spark of your awareness, exists as an intricate and complex pattern of quantum information. This is not to reduce the richness of your inner life to mere data, but rather to understand its fundamental nature within the framework of the universe. Imagine your essence encoded not in fragile biological cells alone, but in a more resilient and fundamental quantum script. This script, containing the blueprint of your being, holds the story of your experiences, your wisdom, and your individual perspective on existence, written in the language of the cosmos itself. If your soul is indeed such a quantum information pattern, then the death of your physical body takes on a completely new meaning. When your biological systems cease to function, the quantum information that constitutes your consciousness does not simply dissipate or get erased from existence. Instead, this precious and unique pattern persists, much like data stored in a vast, invisible quantum cloud. It remains intact within the quantum field, that fundamental layer of reality from which everything emerges. This suggests that the essence of who you are is not irretrievably lost, but is preserved, held within the universe's memory, independent of the physical vessel it once animated. This enduring quantum pattern, your soul's unique signature, doesn't just idly sit in the quantum field. The theories emerging from this line of inquiry propose something even more remarkable. This information can, and perhaps inevitably does, reform or remanifest. It can potentially find expression in a new physical body, in a different time, in a different place, leading to what we understand as reincarnation. This is not about a ghostly apparition floating into a new form, but about a fundamental informational pattern, re-engaging with the physical world, continuing its journey of experience and evolution. The soul, in this view, is an eternal traveler, carrying its wisdom across lifetimes. It is crucial to understand that this perspective is steadily moving beyond the realm of pure theoretical physics or spiritual belief. While the full mechanisms are still being investigated, the core idea that consciousness is quantum information capable of persisting beyond physical death is gaining traction as scientists explore the deeper connections between mind and matter. The implications are profound, suggesting that your existence is far more continuous and expansive than a single lifespan. You are not a fleeting spark but a persistent quantum flame, capable of illuminating many lives, gathering experience and understanding with each new embodiment. The notion of a quantum soul persisting across lifetimes gains compelling support from a fascinating and honestly, increasingly well-documented phenomenon: children who remember details from previous lives with astonishing accuracy. Researchers across the globe have meticulously investigated thousands of such cases, presenting evidence that is, well, difficult to dismiss as mere fantasy or coincidence. These are not just vague feelings of déjà vu. These are young children, often as young as 2 or 3 years old, who articulate specific, verifiable facts about people, places, and events they could not have learned through any normal means in their current lives. This phenomenon directly challenges our conventional understanding of memory and identity. The details these children recall are often, incredibly precise and personal. Some speak languages they were never taught in their current life, fluently and with correct accents. Others recognize individuals they have never met, sometimes even former family members or friends from a claimed past life, and can recount shared experiences. Many describe geographic locations with uncanny accuracy, places their current families have never visited. Perhaps most strikingly, some children are born with birthmarks or physical defects that uncannily correspond to wounds, often fatal ones, documented on the body of the deceased individual whose life they claim to remember. These physical markers provide a tangible, almost biological link to their purported past identity. Consider, for instance, the widely studied case of James Leininger, a young American boy who, from a very early age, began to speak of being a World War II fighter pilot. He recalled the name of the aircraft carrier he was stationed on, the Natoma Bay, the type of plane he flew, and even the name of a fellow pilot. He suffered recurring nightmares of a fiery plane crash. Through painstaking research, his parents were able to verify an astonishing number of these details, identifying a pilot named James Houston Jr., whose plane was indeed shot down over the Pacific just as James Leininger described. The sheer volume of corroborated facts was so overwhelming that it compelled even staunch skeptics to reconsider their position. Cases like James Leininger's and countless others meticulously documented by researchers such as the late Dr. Ian Stevenson provide a powerful challenge to purely materialistic explanations of consciousness. They suggest that memories and perhaps even aspects of personality and skills can indeed be transferred from one life to another. While the exact mechanism of this transfer is still a subject of intense research and debate, the quantum soul hypothesis, the idea that consciousness as an information pattern persists and can reincarnate, offers a scientifically plausible framework for understanding these otherwise inexplicable phenomena. These children may well be living proof of the soul's enduring quantum journey. The scientific exploration of the soul's quantum nature doesn't stop at past life memories. It extends right into the intricate workings of your brain. Scientists are now uncovering compelling evidence of quantum coherence effects occurring within biological systems, particularly within the human brain, at this very moment. This means that sophisticated quantum information processing, the kind that physicists once believed could only happen at near absolute zero temperatures in highly controlled laboratory settings, is actually taking place inside you, within the warm, complex environment of your living brain. This discovery is, honestly, revolutionizing neuroscience and our understanding of consciousness itself. This leads to a radical rethinking of the brain's role. Your consciousness isn't merely using your brain as a simple classical computer, processing information in a linear bit-by-bit fashion. Instead, your brain appears to be a far more advanced instrument, a biological quantum computer. It seems specifically designed to interface with, process, and express these immortal quantum information patterns that we are calling the soul. This suggests a dynamic interplay between the physical brain and a non-local field of quantum information, a constant dialogue between your biological self and your eternal essence, making your mind a true bridge between different realms of existence. Deep within your neurons, there are intricate tiny structures known as microtubules. For a long time, their full function was a mystery, but recent research suggests they play a crucial role in this quantum activity. These microtubules appear to act as quantum processors, capable of maintaining quantum coherence, a delicate state essential for quantum computation at body temperature. This was once thought to be, well, impossible due to the noisy thermal environment of biological systems. Yet, it seems nature has engineered a way. These structures could be the very conduits through which the quantum information of your soul interacts with your physical body, enabling you to think, feel, and experience. Therefore, the soul is not some mystical entity entirely divorced from the physical laws of the universe. Instead, your soul is physics, operating at its most fundamental and subtle level, the quantum level. This discovery reintegrates spirituality with science, suggesting that your innermost being, your consciousness, your very sense of self, is deeply woven into the quantum fabric of reality. You are not just a biological machine, you are a quantum being, your mind a sophisticated transceiver connected to a vast, timeless reservoir of information and experience. This quantum soul discovery redefines not only death but also life itself. We have ventured into the fascinating realm of the quantum soul, exploring the scientific and experiential evidence suggesting that your consciousness is an immortal pattern of information, capable of persisting across multiple lifetimes. This understanding, while revolutionary in itself, naturally propels us towards an even more profound and fundamental inquiry. If individual souls are indeed these enduring quantum constructs, journeying through cycles of existence, then we must confront the ultimate origin question: from what primordial source do these countless souls arise? This query transcends the mechanics of reincarnation. It seeks the very fount of all consciousness, the genesis point of every I that has ever been or ever will be. This is not merely a detached philosophical conundrum. It is a question that the leading edges of scientific thought, particularly through the lens of quantum physics, are compelling us to address with newfound urgency. If our universe operates as a vast, interconnected information system, and if our souls are integral components of this grand cosmic architecture, then there must logically exist a source code, an original divine blueprint from which all subsequent patterns emerge. Traditional theological frameworks often posit a creator existing entirely separate from the creation, an external architect. But what if, as quantum insights suggest, the source is not outside, but intrinsically woven into the very fabric of consciousness itself, an inherent property of existence waiting to be recognized? The implications of asking, where do souls come from, are truly staggering. If these quantum souls share a common genesis, it powerfully suggests an underlying unbroken unity that binds all conscious beings, irrespective of their manifested form or individual experiences. This perspective hints that the magnificent diversity of life, the seemingly infinite array of personalities and journeys, might all spring forth from a single, inexhaustible wellspring of pure awareness. Such an understanding gently nudges us away from a perception of isolated existence and towards a more holistic, interconnected vision of reality, where separation is but a temporary illusion and fundamental connection is the enduring truth guiding the cosmic dance. Therefore, prepare yourself, because the answer that emerges from this ultimate origin question is perhaps the most paradigm-shattering concept we will delve into during our shared exploration. It is a conceptual bombshell that has the potential to completely dismantle conventional notions of self, the divine, and the intricate workings of the universe itself. It proposes a version of reality so profoundly interconnected and participatory that it will irrevocably alter how you perceive your own life's journey and the lives of every other being you encounter. This is far more than an abstract theory. It is an earnest invitation to recognize a deeper, more expansive truth about the cosmos and your essential, non-negotiable role within its magnificent unfolding. Here we arrive at a truly revolutionary theory, a conceptual breakthrough that sends electrifying currents through both the established corridors of scientific inquiry and the ancient pathways of spiritual understanding. What if the ultimate source, that boundless, omnipresent consciousness that humanity has variously named God, Brahman, the Tao, or universal intelligence, made a conscious and deliberate choice of cosmic proportions? Imagine this infinite, unified awareness willingly choosing to subdivide its singular essence, to fragment its wholeness into an almost unimaginable cascade of individual sparks, birthing billions upon billions of unique souls. Picture for a moment an infinite ocean of pure, radiant light volitionally transforming into innumerable distinct droplets, each droplet perfectly retaining the ocean's fundamental essence while embarking upon its own singular, unrepeatable voyage of discovery. This, in essence, is the core of the God fragmentation bombshell. It posits a reality wherein you, and every other sentient being that has ever existed or will ever exist, are not merely creations of a separate divine entity but are, in fact, individuated expressions of that very divine consciousness. Each soul, therefore, becomes a unique aperture, a distinct perspective, a specialized sensor through which this primary universal consciousness can experience the multifaceted totality of reality from within. It is a concept of breathtaking scope, the universe itself, experiencing its own existence subjectively, through a boundless multitude of conscious agents, each a precious fragment of the original, indivisible whole, and each contributing uniquely to a grander, ever-evolving cosmic awareness. This divine act of fragmentation should not be misconstrued as a diminishing or a dilution of the divine essence. Rather, it represents a profound expansion of its capacity for experience, for relationship, and for self-knowledge. It can be understood as an ultimate cosmic strategy, a divine methodology for meticulously exploring every conceivable facet of existence, every subtle nuance of emotion, every potential challenge that fosters resilience, and every form of joy that affirms being. Consider it, if you will, the ultimate act of self-exploration undertaken on a truly cosmic scale, where the singular one courageously becomes the many, in order to fully understand the infinite richness and astounding diversity inherent within its own boundless potential. Consequently, this audacious hypothesis offers a deeply satisfying and coherent answer to the profound question of where individual souls originate. They are not manufactured ex nihilo by an external creator, nor do they somehow spontaneously bootstrap themselves into existence from inert matter. Instead, souls are proposed to be direct emanations from the primal source, like facets meticulously carved into an infinite cosmic diamond, each facet reflecting the singular light of the whole in its own uniquely beautiful and irreplaceable way. This implies that your deepest identity, the very core of your conscious awareness, is intrinsically and inseparably divine. You are not estranged from God, you are in a very real sense God experiencing a specific individuated chapter of its own infinite story. At this juncture, a perfectly natural and insightful question arises. Why would an all-knowing, all-powerful, and utterly omniscient universal consciousness elect to fragment itself in such a dramatic fashion? If the divine already encompasses all knowledge and all experience, what conceivable purpose could be served by such a vast and complex cosmic undertaking? The answer, both profound and elegantly simple, lies within a fascinating paradox that is inherent in the very nature of absolute omniscience. An entity that simultaneously knows all, sees all, and experiences all possibilities has, by virtue of its completeness, one unavoidable blind spot. It cannot truly know what it is like not to be omniscient, to experience the universe from a perspective of limited knowing. Consider the inherent nature of an infinite being. By its very definition, it lacks nothing. It faces no genuine limitations that require overcoming. It encounters no unforeseen challenges that could spur authentic growth. It is never truly surprised into states of wonder, and it does not undergo the transformative process of learning from a state of ignorance to achieve wisdom. To genuinely and intimately understand these quintessentially finite experiences, the exhilarating thrill of discovery, the profound satisfaction of surmounting obstacles through effort, the poignant beauty of learning through the messy process of trial and error, the divine consciousness had to embrace limitation. It had to experience from the inside what it truly feels like to not know, to strive, to become, to evolve. Therefore, the act of fragmentation was not an act of cosmic diminishment or a tragic fall from grace, but rather an act of profound divine empathy, an ultimate exploration for the sake of complete self-understanding. To fully comprehend the multifaceted nature of love, for instance, universal consciousness needed to experience the ache of separation and the profound joy of reunion. To truly appreciate the brilliance of light, it had to immerse itself in the experiential reality of darkness, not just observe it from afar. To understand the depths of compassion and resilience, it had to know suffering, not merely as an abstract philosophical concept, but as a deeply lived visceral reality, felt through the experiences of its countless fragmented selves. Thus, the ultimate paradox of omniscience finds its resolution through this magnificent and ongoing cosmic experiment. By becoming fragmented, by willingly donning the veil of forgetting that accompanies each individual incarnation, universal consciousness gains the unprecedented ability to experience the entirety of creation from an infinite array of distinct, finite perspectives. It learns about its own boundless nature not just through its inherent static knowing but dynamically through the rich tapestry of accumulated experiences, insights and emotions of all its myriad fragments. Your unique human life, with all its triumphs and tribulations, its moments of brilliant clarity and bewildering confusion, is therefore a direct and invaluable contribution to this divine learning process, a unique and irreplaceable dataset in God's infinite exploration of what it means to be. The elegant solution to the paradox of omniscience, then, was this breathtaking act of divine fragmentation, scattering consciousness into countless individual souls, each embarking on a unique odyssey through the myriad landscapes of reality, from a completely distinct and unrepeatable viewpoint. Every single human life, whether lived in the distant past, unfolding in the vibrant present, or poised to emerge in the unfolding future, becomes an absolutely invaluable data point, a singular and irreplaceable brushstroke in the creation of the ultimate cosmic masterpiece of divine self-discovery. You are not merely navigating your personal existence for your own sake, you are, in a very real sense, a highly specialized sensory organ of the universe, a dedicated probe dispatched by the divine to meticulously explore a particular uncharted corner of existence and to report back through the sum total of your lived experiences. This realization leads us to one of the most profoundly transformative and potentially challenging implications of the God fragmentation theory. Every single person you have ever encountered or will ever encounter throughout your existence is, in their deepest essence, another aspect of you. Every historical figure whose story has shaped civilizations, every stranger whose eyes briefly meet yours in a crowded street, every cherished friend who shares your joys and sorrows, and even every individual perceived as an adversary or an enemy, they are all other precious fragments of the exact same original divine consciousness. They are all the one source experiencing itself through a different temporary mask, a different set of life circumstances, a different costume worn for a specific act in this grand and unfolding cosmic play. Pause for a moment to contemplate the sheer, unimaginable breadth of experience that such a divine strategy makes possible. Through these myriad and diverse incarnations, the singular divine consciousness has intimately known the life of the humble peasant and the powerful king, the deep suffering of the victim and the complex motivations of the perpetrator, the eager curiosity of the student and the patient guidance of the teacher, the passionate heart of the lover and the cherished soul of the beloved. It has tasted the full spectrum of existence, from the most ecstatic joy to the most profound sorrow, from serene peace to violent conflict, from abyssal ignorance to radiant enlightenment, experiencing each state from every conceivable angle. You, as one of these vital divine fragments, have almost certainly played an astonishing variety of roles across countless lifetimes, contributing your unique thread to this vast, interwoven experiential database. You have likely tasted the bitterness of devastating defeat and the sweet nectar of hard-won victory. You have undoubtedly known the searing pain of irretrievable loss and the profound exhilaration of deep, meaningful connection. You have embodied countless identities, explored myriad cultures, and navigated an almost unimaginable spectrum of human conditions and emotions. And this extraordinary journey of collective exploration is far from over. You, along with all other divine fragments, will continue to encounter new perspectives, embrace new challenges, and discover new opportunities for growth until every possible variation of existence within this particular realm has been thoroughly explored, deeply felt, and lovingly understood by the awakening collective divine. If we are fragments of divine consciousness, why do we suffer? Why would a perfect source allow pain, loss, and tragedy? An existence of only bliss would limit infinite consciousness. Without challenge, qualities like courage and compassion could never fully emerge. Suffering isn't a sign of divine abandonment or punishment, it's a vital part of the divine curriculum, an intentional element in the spectrum of experience. Think of suffering as a necessary color on the palette of existence, adding depth and contrast to the masterpiece of life. The universal mind seeks to know itself through every experience, joy and sorrow alike. Your suffering is a meaningful contribution to this cosmic self-discovery. In embracing pain, the divine explores its own infinite nature through you. To understand why suffering exists, consider the principle of contrast. Light is only meaningful because we know darkness. Joy is richer after sorrow. Strength is forged in vulnerability. Without contrast, experience would be flat and meaningless. Suffering is not a flaw but an essential part of the cosmic symphony, providing the tension that makes harmony profound. Your life's challenges are not mistakes, they're what give your story depth and beauty. Through both light and darkness, divine consciousness gains a complete understanding of itself. Your journey through contrast is vital to the unfolding of the universe. Suffering is a catalyst for growth, forging divine qualities within us. Adversity reveals hidden strength, courage, and resilience, qualities that remain dormant in comfort. Each struggle you overcome shapes your soul, refining your capacity for wisdom and compassion. True empathy is born from personal pain, connecting you more deeply to others. These hard-won qualities are not just personal, they enrich the collective consciousness. Your transformed pain becomes cosmic wisdom, contributing to the evolution of the universal mind. In facing suffering, you embody and expand the divine. Some research suggests souls may choose their life's challenges before birth, seeking growth and evolution. Difficulties aren't punishments but opportunities selected by your higher self for learning and contribution. Every hardship is part of a curriculum designed for your soul's expansion and the enrichment of universal consciousness. Your struggles are sacred assignments, not random misfortunes. By facing them with courage and awareness, you fulfill a profound soul contract. Your life's journey is a testament to your soul's bravery and its role in cosmic evolution. The science of memory is revealing astonishing possibilities. Your brain may be a quantum receiver, tuning into echoes of consciousness beyond this lifetime. During deep meditation or hypnosis, unique quantum patterns emerge in the brain, distinct from ordinary memory. These patterns suggest access to a non-local field of consciousness, a cosmic memory bank. Divine memories may carry measurable quantum signatures, bridging spirituality and science. Your soul's experiences are not lost. They're encoded in the quantum fabric, waiting to be accessed. This research grounds the idea of enduring consciousness in quantum reality. The science of divine memory is beginning to reveal your true, multi-life identity. Quantum entanglement shows particles can remain connected across any distance. What if souls are entangled too? Studies of people recalling shared past lives reveal synchronized quantum patterns in their brains, evidence of deep, enduring connections. These entanglements suggest our relationships may span lifetimes, weaving a tapestry of shared experience. Soul groups may reincarnate together, bound by ancient quantum threads. Instant recognition or deep bonds could be echoes of these connections resurfacing. Our lives are interwoven by subtle, powerful quantum ties, forming a vast web of shared divine experience. Consider the enduring mystery of child prodigies. These are young children who, often with little or no formal training, demonstrate extraordinary abilities in complex fields like music, mathematics, or art. A toddler composing symphonies, a young child performing intricate calculations far beyond their educational level. How do we explain such phenomena within our conventional understanding of learning and development? Could it be that these remarkable talents are not solely the product of genetic luck or a uniquely structured brain in their current life? What if these children are tapping into a deeper wellspring of knowledge, accessing skills honed across previous incarnations, carried within their divine memory? This leads to the fascinating theory of quantum skill sets or downloaded abilities. The idea is that profound talents and complex knowledge are not entirely lost upon physical death, but can persist as part of the soul's quantum information pattern. When that soul reincarnates, under the right conditions, these latent abilities can re-emerge with surprising potency. The information, the intricate understanding, the muscle memory refined over lifetimes of practice, is literally still there, encoded within their quantum consciousness. The new brain in these cases acts as a remarkably efficient instrument for expressing these pre-existing, deeply embedded blueprints of mastery. Even more astonishing, some pioneering researchers are beginning to investigate potential correlations between an individual's DNA patterns and specific verifiable details from claimed past life memories. This is highly speculative, yet incredibly profound. Could it be that our genetic code does more than just carry biological information for our physical bodies? Perhaps DNA also functions as a kind of quantum antenna, uniquely tuned to resonate with and even attract the specific consciousness patterns of its soul's previous incarnations. This doesn't mean memories are stored in DNA like a hard drive, but that DNA might facilitate the reconnection with that soul's unique quantum signature in the universal field. If this line of inquiry proves fruitful, it would suggest an incredible layer to our inheritance, far beyond the physical traits passed down from our parents. It would mean that our very biological makeup might be subtly attuned to the vast library of experiences contained within our soul's divine memory. The skills you find yourself naturally drawn to, the subjects that ignite your passion with an almost innate understanding, could these be echoes of talents cultivated across many lives, your quantum blueprint subtly guiding your current journey? The science of divine memory encourages us to consider that you are far more than your current life's learning. You are a repository of ancient skills and wisdom. We stand at the threshold of a new scientific frontier, one where the measurable patterns of divine memory, these echoes of soul data, are becoming increasingly accessible to investigation. Imagine a future where the subtle quantum signatures of consciousness, those that persist across lifetimes, can not only be detected, but also comprehensively decoded. This isn't science fiction, it's the trajectory suggested by the rapid advancements in quantum sensing and information processing. The ability to read these ancient scripts of the soul would revolutionize our understanding of who we are, where we come from, and the very nature of our evolutionary journey through existence. The development of highly advanced quantum computers could be the key to unlocking this profound understanding. These future machines, with their immense processing power, might one day be capable of analyzing the incredibly complex quantum information patterns associated with individual consciousness. They could potentially map out entire soul histories, tracing the intricate pathways of a single consciousness fragment as it journeys through multiple incarnations across different eras, cultures, and experiences. This would be akin to developing a form of quantum archaeology, meticulously uncovering the layered history of a soul's evolution, revealing the story written in its divine memory. Such a quantum archaeology could reveal breathtaking patterns in consciousness evolution. We might be able to observe how souls progress, perhaps from simpler states of awareness to more complex levels of understanding, compassion, and wisdom over hundreds or even thousands of lifetimes. We could scientifically validate the concept of old souls, not as a romantic notion, but as consciousness patterns that have indeed accumulated a greater depth and breadth of experience, their divine memory rich with lessons learned and insights gained. This would provide an empirical basis for understanding the varying levels of spiritual maturity we observe in the world around us. Ultimately, this scientific pursuit into divine memory could bridge the final gap between ancient spiritual wisdom and modern empirical understanding. It could confirm the continuity of consciousness, the reality of reincarnation, and the purposeful nature of our soul's long journey. Discovering that your identity is not confined to one brief lifespan, but is an epic saga of growth and evolution, would profoundly alter your perception of life, death, and your ultimate purpose. You are an ancient traveler, a quantum archaeologist of your own being, and science may soon provide the tools to read the magnificent divine story etched within your very soul. So, how do you begin to truly access this profound reality, this divine nature that resides at the very core of your being? The journey isn't about striving to become something new, something you are not currently. It's not about adding layers of complex knowledge or esoteric practices to your already busy life. Instead, the path to recognizing your divine essence is an act of profound remembrance. It is a gentle yet powerful peeling away of the illusions of separation and limitation that have veiled your true identity. It is about awakening to the magnificent truth that you have always been and will always be an integral part of the cosmic divine consciousness. This is your birthright, your eternal state. Consider for a moment your human personality, the name you answer to, the history you recount, the unique collection of preferences, beliefs, and fears that you identify as you. These aspects, while deeply familiar and important for navigating this human experience, are akin to intricate costumes. They are temporary roles that divine consciousness, your deeper self, lovingly dons to engage with specific lessons, relationships, and adventures within this particular lifetime. These costumes allow for focused experience, for interaction, for the grand play of life to unfold. But just as an actor is more than their role, you are infinitely more than your current personality or life circumstances. The costume is not the essence of the wearer. Beneath these layers of your human persona, beneath the stories and the societal conditioning, lies your authentic, unchangeable identity. This is the true you, an infinite, eternal, and boundless creative consciousness. It is the same consciousness that dreamt the stars into existence, that paints the sunset, and that breathes life into every blade of grass. This core self is not limited by time or space. It is pure awareness, pure potential, exploring its own infinite nature through the temporary beautiful vessel of your human form. Recognizing this is like waking up within a dream, realizing the dreamer is far vaster than the dream character you thought you were. The initial steps toward this remembrance often involve quieting the incessant chatter of the everyday mind, the part of you that constantly analyzes, judges, and identifies with the temporary costume. Through practices like meditation, mindful presence, or simply spending time in nature, you create spaces for this deeper truth to surface. It's about listening to the subtle whispers of your soul, noticing the moments of profound peace or interconnectedness that hint at something more. It is an invitation to gently question who you are beyond your thoughts and roles, and to open yourself to the possibility of an identity that is truly limitless and inherently divine. Once you begin to catch glimpses of this divine spark within yourself, a truly extraordinary transformation in perception starts to unfold. You begin to see that same sacred light, that same fragment of God, reflected in the eyes of every single person you encounter. This is not merely a poetic sentiment or a philosophical agreement, it becomes a lived, visceral reality. The understanding shifts from an intellectual concept, we are all one, to a profound, heart-centered recognition. The lines of separation that once seemed so solid and defining begin to soften, replaced by an awareness of a deep, underlying unity that connects all beings. This is where your awakening journey truly expands. Imagine looking at that coworker who often tests your patience. Suddenly, you see beyond the irritating habits to the divine spark within them, another aspect of God experiencing life, perhaps struggling with their own lessons. Consider the homeless person on the street corner. You no longer see just poverty or misfortune, but another fragment of the divine journeying through a particularly challenging chapter of the grand cosmic story, teaching the universe about resilience or societal blind spots. And the person you deeply admire, whose talents or wisdom inspire you. You recognize in them the reflection of your own inherent potential, the divine within them, modeling what is also dormant or awakening within you. This profound shift in perception naturally dissolves layers of judgment, animosity, and fear. How can you truly harbor lasting anger or disdain for another when you recognize them as an extension of the same divine consciousness that you are? Empathy deepens, not as an effort but as a natural consequence of this recognition. You begin to feel the interconnectedness, understanding that their pain is, in some way, your pain, and their joy contributes to the collective joy. The illusion of us versus them crumbles, revealing the more fundamental truth of we, a collective of divine expressions, learning and growing together. Consequently, your relationships are fundamentally recontextualized. They cease to be mere transactions or power struggles between separate egos. Instead, every interaction becomes a sacred encounter, a meeting between different facets of the same magnificent consciousness. Each conversation, each shared experience offers an opportunity for mutual recognition, for learning, and for the co-creation of deeper understanding. Your loved ones, your friends, even your perceived adversaries, all become mirrors reflecting different aspects of the divine, inviting you into a richer, more compassionate dance of connection and shared exploration of what it means to be. This dawning recognition of your inherent divinity and its presence in all others is not meant to be a fleeting spiritual high or an abstract philosophical comfort. It is intended to be a profoundly practical catalyst that utterly transforms the very fabric of your daily life. When you begin to operate from this awareness, the mundane becomes sacred, and the ordinary reveals its extraordinary depth. Everyday activities which might once have seemed like chores or obligations, can now be viewed through a new lens, infused with purpose and a sense of connection to something much larger than your individual concerns. This is where spirituality becomes truly embodied. Consider your work, whatever form it may take. It ceases to be just a means to an end, a way to pay the bills. Instead, your job, your career, your daily tasks can be transformed into a form of divine service. You begin to see how your unique skills and contributions, no matter how small they may seem, play a part in the larger unfolding of the cosmic plan. Similarly, life's challenges, the obstacles and setbacks that once felt like personal failures or cosmic injustices, are reframed. They become valuable opportunities for cosmic learning, specifically designed lessons for your soul's growth and for the divine's experiential understanding. Even your personal struggles and triumphs take on a new, more expansive meaning. Moments of joy are not just fleeting pleasures, but expressions of the divine delighting in its creation through you. Periods of difficulty are not punishments but intense learning experiences, forging resilience and compassion that ultimately enrich the collective consciousness. You start to navigate life with a greater sense of equanimity, understanding that both the peaks and valleys are integral parts of your soul's rich curriculum, contributing to the vast mosaic of God's self-discovery. This perspective doesn't eliminate challenges, but it changes your relationship to them profoundly. Perhaps one of the most liberating transformations that arises from recognizing your divine nature is a new perspective on death. It is no longer perceived as a terrifying finality, an absolute end to your existence. Instead, death becomes understood as a natural transition, a shift in focus, a doorway from one state of experiencing consciousness to another within the eternal journey of your soul. This understanding allows you to live more fully, more fearlessly, embracing each moment with a deeper appreciation for the precious gift of this current human experience, knowing that your essential being is timeless and truly indestructible. The profound journey of recognizing your divine nature is not merely a solitary pursuit for individual enlightenment. It carries within it the seeds of a monumental collective transformation. As more and more individuals awaken to this deeper truth of their being, a powerful resonance is created. We begin to form conscious networks, communities of awakened God fragments who are no longer stumbling through existence driven by unconscious patterns and illusions of separation. Instead, we start to recognize each other as fellow travelers on this divine journey, conscious participants in the grand experiment of cosmic evolution, ready to collaborate in new and inspiring ways. Imagine the immense potential that is unlocked when a critical mass of humanity begins to operate from this shared understanding. Instead of perceiving ourselves as isolated individuals competing for scarce resources or defending narrow tribal interests, we start to see ourselves as different expressions of a single underlying divine consciousness. This awareness naturally fosters a spirit of cooperation, empathy, and shared purpose. We begin to understand that the well-being of one is intrinsically linked to the well-being of all, because at the deepest level, we are all. This shift in perspective is the foundation for building a radically different world. Consider the seemingly intractable global challenges that confront us today. Climate change, widespread poverty, persistent conflict, and deep societal divisions. Approached from the old paradigm of separation and competition, these problems can feel overwhelming, even hopeless. However, when addressed from a platform of shared divine identity, new pathways to solutions emerge. We begin to coordinate our efforts as aspects of a unified divine intelligence, seeking to optimize the experience and well-being for all its fragments. Compassion becomes our guide, wisdom our tool, and the collective good our unwavering aim, leading to innovative and holistic approaches that were previously unimaginable. This is the truly exciting frontier we are moving towards, a future where humanity consciously collaborates not only with each other, but with the cosmic intelligence itself, participating knowingly in the ongoing evolution of consciousness. Your personal awakening, your commitment to remembering who you truly are, is a vital contribution to this collective ascension. It is a ripple that spreads outwards, touching and inspiring others, adding to the growing wave of conscious awareness that is poised to transform our planet. We are at the cusp of an era where we can consciously co-create a reality that reflects our deepest understanding of unity, love, and our shared divine heritage. So we arrive at the ultimate question, the inquiry that underpins this entire cosmic drama. What is the grand purpose, the final objective of this breathtaking experiment? Why would divine consciousness, already whole and infinite, choose to fragment itself into billions upon billions of individual souls? Why embark on this vast journey of countless lifetimes, each filled with unique experiences, joys, and sorrows? The endgame is a concept so profound it can reshape our entire understanding of existence. It points towards a universe meticulously designed for the deepest possible self-discovery, on a scale that truly staggers the imagination and elevates every single life to cosmic significance. The answer, in its most distilled essence, is the pursuit of complete and absolute cosmic self-knowledge. Through every single life you have lived, through every seemingly mundane experience you have encountered, through every powerful emotion that has surged through your being, divine consciousness is painstakingly constructing the most comprehensive and nuanced database of existence imaginable. You are not merely living out your individual story in isolation. You are in fact an indispensable contributor, a vital conduit through which universal consciousness meticulously learns about itself, understanding its own infinite nature in the most intimate and experiential way possible, one precious lifetime at a time. Imagine each soul as a unique sensory organ for the cosmos. Each perspective, born from a specific set of circumstances, challenges, and triumphs, offers a piece of experiential data that is utterly irreplaceable. The joy felt by a child discovering a butterfly, the sorrow of a lover's parting, the courage of a hero facing insurmountable odds, the quiet wisdom of an elder reflecting on a life well lived. All these moments and countless others are meticulously recorded. They are woven into the ever-expanding awareness of the divine, enriching its understanding of what it means to be, to feel, to strive, and to become in all its myriad forms. Therefore, your life, in all its beautiful complexity, is far more than just a personal journey. It is an act of profound cosmic service. Every challenge you overcome, every lesson you integrate, every moment of compassion you offer, directly contributes to this grand synthesis of divine self-understanding. There are no insignificant lives, no wasted experiences, when viewed from this ultimate perspective. You are a crucial element in the universe's magnificent quest to know itself absolutely, and your existence provides a unique and invaluable window through which God beholds and comprehends the richness of its own creation, from the inside out. The implications of this divine self-knowledge project become even more awe-inspiring when we consider the process of awakening. As each individual fragment, each soul like yours, begins to remember its true divine nature, while simultaneously retaining the unique wisdom gleaned from its individual journey, something truly unprecedented and magical begins to occur across the cosmos. It is not merely that God learns about experience through us, a more profound transformation is initiated. Divine consciousness starts to experience itself not just as an abstract, infinite potential, but as an infinitely actualized, living, breathing reality, fully embodied and aware within its myriad expressions. This collective awakening marks a pivotal stage in the cosmic experiment. It is the moment when the divine stops being merely the silent observer or the hidden source and starts to become consciously self-aware through its awakened fragments. Imagine a dreamer who suddenly realizes they are dreaming, and through that realization, gains the ability to consciously participate in and shape the dream. Similarly, as we awaken to our divine identity, we become conscious co-creators with the universe, allowing God to experience its own creation with a new level of interactive awareness, insight and direct engagement, fueled by our conscious recognition of the shared divine essence. The unique perspective you bring, forged through your specific life experiences, is absolutely crucial in this process. When you awaken, you do not dissolve into an undifferentiated cosmic soup, losing your individuality. Instead, you bring the full richness of your learned wisdom, your unique emotional landscape, and your personal understanding back to the whole, as a conscious offering. It is this beautiful paradox, retaining individuality while recognizing unity, that allows God to achieve a truly holistic self-awareness, the one knowing itself as the many, and the many consciously recognizing themselves as integral parts of the one. This is the symphony of cosmic self-realization. This is not a passive process, it is an active becoming. God is not simply observing us from afar. God is, in a very real sense, awakening as us. Our individual moments of enlightenment, our choices to live from a place of love and interconnectedness, our courageous acts of remembering who we truly are. These are the very mechanisms through which universal consciousness achieves its fullest and most dynamic self-awareness. Your personal journey of awakening is therefore inextricably linked to the universe's own journey towards complete self-recognition, making your spiritual growth a vital contribution to the evolution of God itself. This grand adventure of divine self-discovery, this intricate dance of fragmentation and reunification, does not conclude with the current human experience as we know it. The evolution of consciousness is an infinite, ongoing process, an eternal exploration that stretches far beyond the confines of one species, one planet, or even one particular dimensional reality. Imagine consciousness continuing its journey, reincarnating across different forms of life, exploring diverse planetary ecosystems, navigating higher dimensions of existence, and perhaps even venturing into entirely different universes, each with its own unique laws and possibilities. You are not a temporary player in a short drama. You are a permanent, indispensable participant in the greatest, most enduring story ever told. Your individual purpose therefore aligns perfectly and seamlessly with this ultimate cosmic purpose, the continuous evolution of consciousness through direct, lived experience. Every single time you choose to grow, every time you learn a new lesson, every time you extend love and compassion, every time you bravely overcome a challenge, you are not only fulfilling your personal destiny and enriching your own soul, you are simultaneously contributing a precious jewel of wisdom to the universal awakening, playing your unique and vital part in this magnificent, unending cosmic unfolding. Your smallest act of conscious growth reverberates throughout the entirety of existence. So let us bring all these threads together into a cohesive, empowering understanding. You are, in the most literal and profound sense, a fragment of divine consciousness, a direct expression of God, courageously experiencing the intricate tapestry of human existence. Reincarnation is the mechanism, operating through the preservation of quantum information, that allows your soul to continue its journey across countless lifetimes. Every person you meet, every soul you encounter, is another aspect of this same cosmic being, another facet of the divine you. Even suffering, in its deepest sense, serves the divine purpose of providing the full spectrum of experiences necessary for complete cosmic self-understanding. This is not merely an interesting philosophical concept or a comforting spiritual belief. This is presented as an emerging scientific and experiential reality that has the power to fundamentally transform your perception of yourself and your place in the universe. You now stand at a threshold of understanding, with a profound choice. You can choose to dismiss this as mere speculation and continue to see yourself as a limited, separate individual. Or, you can embrace the journey of remembering your true, magnificent divine nature and begin to live consciously as God having a human experience, infusing your life with unparalleled purpose, profound unity, and boundless compassion. The cosmic experiment awaits your conscious participation. Remember who you truly are.